Jaylen Brown needs a break, and it's for a very dumb reason. And what should the Celtics do at the trade deadline, or at least in trade season? It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Beantown, be ever ready. It's the C's. Who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT. Karalis, recap the madness every game, every practice. Prime time, Depp and D White on the sideline. Rain and Jace, how it started, raising business, how we finished. Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them every Monday through Friday. Plus, I'll give you a bonus podcast when they play on weekends like this Friday. They play the Lakers, and I will give you a podcast after that. Every one of these is free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube, so get in there and share your thoughts with me. If you're new to the show, I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I have been covering this team in some form for 20 years, doing this podcast for 10. I also have a couple of books out about the Celtics as well. Today's show brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase of tickets to an NBA game, tickets to whatever you want on Game Time. Later on, we're going to talk about the trade, the approach at the, in trade season, where at the beginning of December, we're about a week and a half away from the soft launch of trade season. And what should the Celtics do? Should this affect what Brad Stevens does in his approach? That's coming up later on. But we got to start with this schedule. And I say we because it's going to be me and Tom Westerholm, everybody. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you feeling, Tom?
Blessed and grateful. How are you?
Wow. Neither of those things. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Can't get my graphics right here. I think my white t-shirt is kind of screwing with me. But anyway, Jaylen Brown is doubtful, which I'm happy about. I've been saying on the show, he needs a break. This is a perfect time to get a break.
Yes.
In fact, I hope Derek White comes up with something.
Yeah.
Here's the injury report for the Celtics Wizards game on Thursday night. Jaylen's doubtful. For the Wizards, out Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert, Bilal Coulibaly, Sharif Cooper, Trey Johnson. So the Wizards are like expertly tanking. They are doing it. They're like, what?
Few teams in NBA history have as much experience in tanking as the Wizards do.
They are, they have perfected the art.
A veteran of these tanking streets, yes.
Yeah. So they are not going to let the Celtics say, okay, we're going to rest Jaylen, we're going to rest whomever else, and like start Amari Williams and Ron Harper and Max Shulga and have the Wizards fall into a win. They've already screwed up by beating the Bucks the other night. They're not going to take any chances here.
No.
But what makes this so dumb, and why Jaylen Brown on December 3rd already needs a break? It's not just that he has this workload that is extreme, but he's working extraordinarily hard to be as good as he is. It's that the Celtics are on another 3 games in 4 nights and a 5 game in 7 nights for the second time already this season.
Yes.
They have played like so many games, and you look ahead. So it's 3 and 4 if you want to go down and distill it down even further. You've got Toronto on Sunday afternoon. So that's even worse. So that's 4 games in 6 nights, however you want to move it. But then you got like 3 days off, and then another, Milwaukee on Thursday. And Giannis just went down with a calf strain right before we recorded this. So Giannis might not even be in that game. So then 3 days off, and then Detroit, and then another 3 days up. What a dumb schedule to be sitting here and needing, a guy like Jaylen needing a break because of the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
The NBA Cup schedule is so dumb that here we are with a super, super condensed early part of the schedule where guys are getting worn out. And it's a wonder. You wonder why all these guys are getting hurt in the beginning of the season. Everybody's looking for reasons. The schedule is too condensed at the beginning of the season. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the schedule is too long in the regular season. I mean, they're like, but yes, it's very condensed here. I mean, I think it's absurd to if you're the NBA to give. Okay, Celtics, Lakers. We're giving our new broadcast partners Amazon Prime. We're giving them Celtics, Lakers here in the early season. It's a obviously in the early NBA season, it's not always great. So we're going to give them a good one right off the jump. This is big time. Oh, and by the way, the Celtics are going to be playing their third game in 4 nights. And it's the second night of a road back-to-back. Now, I mean, obviously, DC to Boston isn't the craziest trip of all time, but it's still a road home back-to-back. There's still going to be nights not spent in their own bed, and there's still a basketball game happening the day before. So, I mean, the NBA, is levying fines against people who, for resting guys or whatever. It's well, if you're the Celtics, it's I'm sorry. I'm going to rest guys because I'm playing the Wizards the night before. I'm playing, a Wizards team that features just the tank commanders and the tank sergeants and the tank foot soldiers of the Washington Wizards. We're playing them. All right, cool. Resting them that night. I don't know, man. It's a mess. The NBA schedule is a mess. And I mean, obviously the NBA Cup, it's well, everybody could have seen this coming. Anybody in their right mind could have seen that this was going to cause massive issues at the start of the season. And I would understand if it was growing pains in terms of, okay, these rules didn't work or this, this setup didn't work and we want to shift some things around there. But it's if you're the NBA, all of your value comes from your players. All of your value comes from these super talented guys, these irreplaceable, these, these solely nobody else is as good as these guys at basketball, and you're running them into the ground in December. That's kind of a wild move. I have a hard time believing that the NBA Cup is worth that.
It's not. It's definitely not. I don't know how many people actually care about this thing, but if you want to do it in January. Spread this out a little bit more, so you're not condensing this season so much. You got to figure out a different way. You can't have so many 2 weeks blocked off for you. We can't have that.
Why does it need to be done so early? I don't understand.
It doesn't.
I really don't understand. In the Premier League, right? In soccer overseas, the Champions League, which is kind of the model that the NBA is trying to follow. It's a little different, but they're kind of going for that model where there's the one league going on at the same time as the other league. The Champions League goes on that goes deep into May, and it's going on right now. The group play is going on now. It goes the whole season and it goes into May. Now, obviously, you can't do that, but I don't know. Everybody's still into the Champions League from the start of the season to the end of it. I don't see any reason the NBA Cup has to end this early so that you have to mush everything together.
My only feeling here is that it's something to get you through the beginning of the season when no one cares. Historically, no one cares.
Yeah.
And Christmas is supposed to be the real opening day for the NBA. Yeah. And so you want to get this cup done and then in a week have Christmas, or 2 weeks have Christmas, and then you get going and whatever. I don't buy it. I know this is only year 3. I'm not seeing the traction. I'm not seeing and maybe it's just a Boston thing. I don't know anybody that's into this. It hasn't been a buzzword. It hasn't been any conversations when I was at these games.
Yeah.
I said this on a I forget if it was on a podcast or on a live stream or whatever. I did a show after one of the cup games. I covered the whole thing for Boston Sports Journal. I wrote 2 pieces without mentioning the cup.
Yeah.
I did a podcast, didn't mention the cup.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. I totally forgot that I had to mention the cup was a thing.
Yep.
Not one person in the comments said anything.
Nobody actually do. That's how you know nobody cares about this dumb thing.
Right. No one on the internet said, hey, well, actually, not one, commenter troll was like, oh, look at this guy, so dumb. You can't even acknowledge the cup.
Right.
Like, that's
right. Because nobody cares. It's funny because the NBA wants this to be a cup that fans care about. Like, so I mentioned, right, okay, soccer, right? Like, just to draw that parallel, because again, I think that's what the NBA is going for here. There are other cups within the soccer season that people do care about, right? The people do care about, like, if you get deep into the season, people really care about some of these cups. But, like, the NBA hasn't got that. What they have is the G League championship, or the Summer League championship, where guys care about it if they get there, right? Like, if you get to the semifinals of the cup, then yeah, maybe your team does kind of care. And they're like, oh yeah, maybe I'll try, like, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I do want to win this year.
I can make $500
I can make a little money. Like, yeah, that's great. But like up until those like quarterfinals, semifinal, finals games, the group play is completely meaningless and like just adds so much just that friction to the schedule that doesn't need to be there. Friction to guys' joints and ligaments and other things that already experience a lot of friction during an NBA season.
This needs to change next year. It needs to change. They need to do something about and I don't care that they're trying about you can try something. Sure. Go ahead, try it. Okay. So this is my feedback. This is my feedback to the NBA. Fix it. Fix this schedule. This is too much too soon. You come out of the summer, you go into a training camp that doesn't mean a damn thing, and then you just launch into the beginning of the season that's super condensed, and then there's a bunch of games where no one can skip because you get fined if
you get fined. Yeah.
And so it's you're hitting the ground running, and you're just asking too much of guys. All of these old NBA, people who like to complain, they talk about, guys used to play 82 games. Yeah, but guys used to coast at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
No one came into camp in shape. No one was doing the Jaylen Brown workout.
Right, exactly.
Get ready for everybody was chilling out, and you would work through camp. The training camp was like a whole month. There were a lot of games that you had to try to work through to get yourself into shape. And the beginning of the season wasn't this. So I don't know. I'll wrap this part of it up just by saying the NBA needs to fix it. However you need to reschedule this, spread it out, whatever you need to do it, because this is too much. Guys are getting hurt, and I think it's because of the condensed schedule. And there's no reason for Jaylen Brown to need to rest, but he's been working so hard, and there have been so many games where if he didn't get, if he wasn't listed as doubtful for the Thursday night game, I would have been on here being like, Celtics, what are you, stupid?
Yeah.
And thankfully they're smart.
They're not stupid. Yeah, they're smart actually.
We see it too. So fix it, NBA.
Yeah. The NBA is stupid. Celtics are smart.
NBA is stupid. Celtics not stupid.
Right.
Boy, we're like edging up on sports talk radio there for a second. All right. The Celtics are, they're 12-9, and they are looking good.
Yeah.
December 15th, around the corner, trades. Giannis is talking about his future. All of these things are happening. What should the Celtics do? Should they stick to the plan that we think they're sticking to? Or has the beginning of the season made them change? Should they change their approach? That's all coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Thanks for making it the number one Celtics podcast in the world on the number one sports podcasting network in the world. That's all because of you, the everydayers who are with me every Monday through Friday. Thank you so, so much. Again, if you're new, this show's free. It's available everywhere. Subscribe, get into the YouTube page, get into the comment section. I love seeing the threads developing as people chat with one another. It's a great place to start a Celtics community and go back and just talk to people that you're familiar with. So go do that and discuss all of the topics that we're talking about here on the Locked On Celtics podcast, including Tom Westerholm, the trade situation, which is a question I've gotten a few times now. So I figured a lot of people are talking about this because Giannis has not requested a trade necessarily, but he and his agent are sitting there discussing his future with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Shams Charania doesn't get that scoop if they're just getting together and being like, hey, I like you here. Oh, we like you being here. So great. That's not how this is going to go.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Giannis is probably going to hit the market, although we'll see what this calf strain situation is and how serious, if it's more or whatever. But regardless, he's going to hit the market. I'm watching the Atlanta situation closely because for the first time, I've heard national people start talking about Trae Young the way I talk about Trae Young. Well, they're starting to encroach upon my territory.
Yeah, copyright infringement laws exist, people. We've been saying this. You and I have been saying this about Trae Young for quite some time.
This is like going on Shark Tank, and you go up there and you'd be like, worse without Trae Young. I mean, you're better without Trae Young.
Yeah.
And then some factories in China are like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's knock that off. And now we're flooded with Hawks are better without Trae Young takes.
Factories in Bristol say, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Wow. We got to get in on this. So we'll see what that brings. The John Morant situation is an interesting one, obviously, in Memphis. There are players that are probably going to move. So the Celtics have assets. There's a rumor out there that Ivica Zubac could be. Now, this is the juicy one. Could the Celtics get in on Zubac if the chatter, the rumor is, hey, they do kind of like Anfernee Simons. Like, oh, you do? Oh, that's great. And you want first round picks? The Celtics got them. They got them all.
They do.
They got them all. And I bet they actually put protections on theirs, unlike Joe Dumars.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, should the Celtics look at their situation and say, hey, 12-9, the East is just wide open. The Cavs lost to the Blazers.
Yeah.
Right before we started recording. They're 13.
Yeah. And did anything about last night's game make you go, oh man, that Knicks team, like, dog, come on.
No, there's nothing about it. So the top seed is the Pistons, which is great. 17-4, like the Pistons, and they are in action right now. They're probably going to beat the Bucks because Giannis is out, but who knows? So that's going on. They might be 18-4. Hell of a start to the season, but it's the Pistons.
Yep.
They're young. We don't know what they're going to be able to, accomplish. No. The Raptors are probably going to fade. I
have to think so. Yeah.
They're good. They're good. But like second seed good? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Miami, they third seed good? There's a lot of by default happening here.
Yeah. Well, as you can tell by the fact that they're all separated by like 1.5 games. Like,
right.
There's a
right. So it's there. It's there. If you want it. But here's the question. Should the Celtics go for it here? Because you can say, but the West is like,
yes. Like the West is the opposite of we're talking about. Yes.
What's better? This is the heart of the whole discussion. What's better? You cashing in assets to go for it right now because if Tatum does come back, there is a world where he comes back in like February, March, takes a month and a half and becomes some version of himself. Yeah. And now he's playing a version. 75% of Jayson Tatum is still better than Jordan Walsh, despite what Jordan Walsh is doing.
Yep.
You're like, you get him, and let's just say theoretically, you'll get Zubac. You're like, whoa, hey, that could be your Eastern Conference. You can get to the NBA Finals with that team.
I mean, listen, I think you got to think about it. I think, listen, I don't know, man. I'm riding a little high on the Celtics supply at the moment. I'm so impressed by Jaylen. Obviously, I mean, it's both the wrong and the right day to have this conversation, because it's like the day after they were unbelievably good against the Knicks, and you're just like, whoa, this team is awesome. But like, I don't know, man. They've been really good. They're 12-6 since they started 0-3. Like they've been really good, and like. I think, when you look at the East and you look at like, okay, they could conceivably win the East. If you win the East, if you make it to the finals, you give yourself a chance, right? Like,
yeah,
weird stuff can happen. The Knicks beat the Celtics in the playoffs last year. They should not have done that. Weird stuff can happen.
The Pacers got to the finals. And
finals, yeah, like, yes, exactly. Like, it's weird stuff happens. Like,
yeah,
things can happen. I think you got to think about it, because I mean, the other thing to remember, right? The best team in the East right now is the Detroit Pistons. If you're the Celtics and you get into the playoffs and you've got like a relatively full complement of your guys, you have no fewer than, no fewer than 4 rotation guys who have been in the finals and have won the finals. Oh, you have no fewer than 4 guys who have been in the finals and won the finals.
Yeah. No, it's true.
My computer just throws up on me. But yes, you have you have a genuine chance.
Second, but you're back.
Yeah. You have a genuine chance at winning the championship. That might be worth pursuing.
It's such a hard answer right now. Like, if you can get Zubac for Simons, it wouldn't be a straight up deal. And the question would be, how many of your assets are you cashing in for Ivica Zubac, who this year makes $18.1 million, and he's under contract for 2 more years, basically at $20 million or so. So if they like Simons, but he makes 27 million, 27 and a half.
Yeah.
You might, it gets a little complicated, because the Clippers are going to say, well, we want more, but Simons is the one that makes the most money by a fair amount, enough that it makes these first, Celtics are a first apron team. The Clippers are a first, they're hard capped at the first apron. Okay. So they can't take back, and they've only got $1.2 million, $1.3 million in room. So they can't just do Simons for Zubac. They have to match that. So they have to add, which means the Celtics would also have to add, which means now we're talking third team. It gets complicated. So it's not a simple go get Zubac. And so they're going to say, well, we want Hugo Gonzalez and we want first round picks. And, how far do you go in this? Let's answer that question when we come back, because I don't know. There's value to yes and value to no, and we'll get to that when we come back. Yeah. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. The World Cup is coming to the United States, to North America, for the first time since 1994. There are 48 teams for the first time ever. It's going to be a massive event, and getting tickets, good luck. But That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time. You can get alerts when great seats open up and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands, and it makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Pull up the app. The layout makes it very, very simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views, which is important. You want to know what you're going to see. You can pick a game, tap a section, have your tickets locked within minutes, and no confusion, no hunting for fine print. The prices that you see are up front are the prices you're going to pay. No surprises at checkout, which is a great feature. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets in every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, Game Time. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Make that your second listen. If you got a fantasy basketball team and you're not listening to Josh Lloyd, you're just not going to win your league. So check him out. He's got all the ads, drops, starts, benches, all of that stuff. It's on the #1 sports podcasting network on the planet. Thank you all for making the Locked On Podcast Network that. So, Tom, I think if you can get a reasonable deal for Ivica Zubac, you do it, right? I think that's pretty straightforward. You can do it. But because it gets complicated with the money and the aprons, it's not as simple. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. If Zubac is available and you can get close enough with the salary matching,
Right.
They could throw in somebody that doesn't matter and make the salaries match. It would just be basically be Simons and picks and maybe a young player and figure it out, move on. You get Zubac. He's obviously a really good player. And you say, great, that's our center. Neemias Queta becomes your backup. That's a really good backup.
That's perfect. Yep.
You know, like going in there with a starting lineup of Jaylen, Jayson, Peyton, Derek White, and Ivica Zubac. Hello.
Yeah.
Because now you got Queta off the bench, Jordan Walsh off the bench, Josh Minot off the bench, Sam Hauser off the bench. I'm assuming that maybe some combination of maybe Ugo is gone in this scenario, which would really suck. You got to give up something to get something. But you have
if you're giving up an athletic young wing who plays hard, it's like that is the thing that you have a surplus of at the moment. That's like
right. And so it was I don't want to give up Ugo, but nobody's untouchable in a deal like this.
Correct. Yes.
But okay, so you do that. And like that starting lineup would be like, oh wow, wow,
yeah,
that's the best team in the East, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Even if like Tatum comes back, and I'm not putting any expectations on Tatum when he comes back, right? This is a rehab stint, but he's still going to be playing basketball. Even if he's playing 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes of 70% of Jayson Tatum, 75% of Jayson Tatum, whatever his abilities are with all the rust and all of that stuff. So eventually, who knows what he gets to, but it's still a really nice option to have, and you make your run. At the same time, okay, there's the wait and see option, because maybe you sign Simons to a different kind of deal, or maybe he becomes filler in a multi-team trade, and you get different options, or you just take it into the summer and you have a better idea of, okay, we want to keep these guys, we're willing to move these guys, and there are other options that you can get into. I think there's value. Like, I'm not saying you say no to Zubac. I'm saying if Zubac isn't available, you don't just go get another center.
Yeah.
You don't start being like, hey, okay, like if you can get a center. I keep using Santi Aldama as an example. Like John Morant goes 14 trade, Santi Aldama comes to Boston in some kind of weird thing. Like that could be a thing. But you don't just be like, okay, now's our time to strike. We got to go get a center, and start being like, here's Simons, here's all the picks, and you do the Zubac deal for a lesser player. You don't go all in for a player now. Zubac is an exception.
Yes.
But otherwise, if something like that isn't available, you explore the 4-team trade thing and getting in there as an ancillary kind of team and trying to get somebody that way, or you just take it into the summer. Like, be careful about how hard you go this season is what I'm saying.
Right. Don't get Justice Winslow'd, right? Like don't start making it something where you're just like more picks. Like you're not, that's not, no. Like, yes, I agree with that completely. I think you have to consider it. I think you have to like take a big run at Zubac. Like that's a really good player. That, like you said, I think anytime, especially under like with all the weirdness, with all the fluidity that could happen with the new salary rules, all that kind of stuff. If you have a chance to become the best team in your conference, even if it's short-lived, take it. Like, give it a shot. Like, see what you can accomplish. Because like opportunities are going to be fast and fleeting, over the next however many years.
Yeah.
Take a swing at it. But I think you're exactly right. Like, if there's one thing that we're seeing with this team, it's like, okay, there's enough talent on this team right now to be competitive this season. You don't need to do more than that this season. You don't need to. If you have the chance to make a run, if you have the chance to really be like, oh, dang, we are the best team in the East now, take that opportunity. But like you said, you do not have to push it. So yeah, I'm right there with you. I think if you can get Zubac, you go get him. But but you don't get Justice Winslow.
Right. If another team comes along and says, hey, we see that you want a center. We got a center, and you just say, okay, well, sure, we'll take that center, and we'll give you all of the same picks for the same thing. Like, sure, let's go. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do, you don't want to overextend yourself. So that, I think that's the lesson. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a Tom Westerholm ended up falling off the broadcast there. So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. The final lesson is Zubac. Yes, absolutely. If you can get Ivica Zubac, yes, do it. I don't know if that's going to be the case because you know what? Other teams are going to be like, Zubac is available? Sure, we can do that. And maybe Anfernee Simons isn't exactly what, the Clippers had interest in Simons. Maybe they had interest in him when he was in Portland. Maybe they look at this deal, now and be like, hey, we're not as interested anymore. Or they get another offer from somewhere else. Like, don't like give up 6 first-round picks for Zubac either, because the Celtics are kind of at the tail end. Like, they've got a couple years left. You don't want to be like one of these teams. You don't want to be like the Clippers, who are, you don't control your picks anymore. Like, you don't want to be at the end of your contention and all of a sudden all your picks are gone. And you're like, oh my God, we still owe picks. We still owe swaps for Zubac. Like, you don't want to overextend for that either. You got to be careful about how you do this. So if you can swing a reasonable deal for Zubac, then absolutely, obviously you do that. Don't overextend for him. Don't overextend for like, oh God, consolation prize. Don't do that. There's a summer and there's next season, and there are a lot of things that can break. So there are so many moving parts in the NBA right now. There's so many moving parts that you can probably get in on somebody somehow in another way. All right, Tom, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you being here.
My computer died. My bad.
Well, I wrapped it up. So unless you got other thoughts.
I bet you. Listen, I agree with nothing you said. I think you got it all wrong. And yeah.
Well, I was saying that Tom Westerholm was great. So you're right. I'm wrong. You suck.
You wrong. Man, I'm rubber. You're glue. Dang it.
Bye, Tom.
Appreciate you, man.
I always appreciate Tom making the effort, coming back. It's like going out with a cramp and then coming back and like, I'm going to finish this game. Thank you all for listening, for watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you think what the Celtics should do Obviously, a lot of different opinions on this. Celtics play the Wizards. I will be here after the Wizards game. Celtics play the Lakers on Friday, 7:00 start at the Garden. I will be there for that. I will be podcasting after that game. So make sure you are subscribed. If you're new to the show, would love to have you subscribe. Get into the comment section on the YouTube page. Share your thoughts, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, it's your team every day.